Welcome everyone. It's time for another Parenity brand startup journal. This is entry number 8 for the week ending August 20th, 2024. Parenity is a totally bootstrapped solopreneur brand being built from the ground up by me, your host, Robbie Bond. At Parenity, we aim to bring serenity into the lives of parents everywhere. And this little vlog playlist is where I log some of the struggles, triumphs, and activities of the week in this startup journey. As this thing takes off, we get closer and closer to our vision of a world where parents are less exhausted, better supported, more appreciated, and live in increased serenity. And here is what I've been up to lately. Attack of the Time Gobblers. Going bi-weekly or monthly on the startup journals. We got our ACK Letter. Drink powder production starts soon. Battery production is underway. 3PL locked in. And direct mail trial campaign. Let's start with Attack of the Time Gobblers. As I'm sure you're aware, things will try to gobble up your time if you let them. Some examples of things that have tried to chomp away at my days lately are frame rate issues that I had on entry number 7 of this very journal, overly elaborate credit card sign-up gauntlets, local and cloud storage limit issues, device connectivity, a site or app that is glitching at the wrong time, video edits that creep longer and longer. It's all stuff that you have to decide which ones are worth your time, which just aren't, and then you got to figure out how to work around the rest. All I can say is don't be stubborn. Defer or cut loose as many of these items as you can. Remember the 80-20 rule, and don't waste any of your precious time that you don't have to. Going bi-weekly or monthly on the startup journals. One thing that has become clear to me is that I need to move these startup journal entries from weekly to monthly. I was initially thinking bi-weekly, but why not go monthly? This way, I don't have a weekly time block taken up by editing. If I was a charismatic Vince Vaughn type who could just ramble off the top of his head endlessly and have the end product be watchable and enjoyable with minimal editing, I could save a lot of time. Unfortunately, that's not who I am. Going monthly will let me boil down the topics to just the most noteworthy. We got our ACK Letter. This is an important piece of the puzzle I've been waiting on, and it has finally arrived. Our letter of acknowledgement from Health Canada has been received, and this will let us start selling our initial small trial batch of our product while we wait on our official NPN, that's natural product number, from Health Canada, which is still 6 months or so away. So this is great. It's let us go into production, and we can see what kind of sales we can drum up. Drink powder production starts soon. After wrestling with trying to squeeze all necessary information into the label space we have on our Adulting Done Bright jars, I threw in the towel and told our manufacturers to have their design team handle it for me. The font sizes required by Health Canada do not work when trying to fit French and English versions of all warnings, instructions, and ingredient listings on a small label. I predict that the design team there is going to just reduce the font size like I wanted to do, but better they take this creative license than me, since they're the ones with all the industry experience and they know where any wiggle room starts and ends. Label trouble aside, our deposit on our initial order is in as of today, so we should start seeing our product arrive in the warehouse in about 8 weeks. I decided not to do up sample size versions of the product for influencers and local distribution, because this was going to come with its own order minimums. So I'm instead going to handle the filling, labeling, and mailing of these sample sizes as needed. Battery production underway. We've approved the design of our AA and AAA batteries that we'll be selling as cross-sell items on our Shopify store. I love them. I love the way they're packaged, and the sourcing agency I used has been great to work with so far. I've paid the deposit on the order, and they should ship to our 3PL warehouse in a month or two. 3PL locked in. Turns out that the 3PL company I was very sure I was going to use for our shipping has a $1,000 monthly minimum. And shipping costs, actual shipping costs do not contribute to the 1,000 minimum. I would have to be doing a lot of orders in order to meet this minimum. Of course, a lot is a relative term. It would be a lot for a startup brand this size. For most companies, probably would not be a lot. This is not outlandish. This minimum is not outlandish, but for our first year, I really want Parenity running lean. I cannot accept profit margins being gobbled up by minimums I'm not yet able to meet. So I've decided to work with one of the first companies I looked into for 3PL services, who have no monthly minimums, no minimum contract length, but slightly higher storage fees. I figure if Parenity gets big enough, we can likely negotiate these anyway. And at that point, the little extra fees probably won't matter that much to me. I feel good about this decision, and I spoke with the president of the company last week, and he seems like he cares, understands, and knows his stuff. Direct mail trial campaign. The biggest part of my efforts to keep performance marketing spends to a minimum in the first year is going to be around doing influencer marketing using Social Snowball. But I did want to do a bit of a multifaceted approach, so I wanted to try an additional method at the same time, direct mail. I may not have even thought of doing this, but I've been hearing about e-commerce direct mail platforms like Postpilot for a while now, and it really does make sense. To start, I'm going to just do a small targeted postcard campaign within Canada through a local direct mail company and see how it goes. Who knows, if I end up wanting to really scale this, I might end up on Postpilot eventually. This also gives me a chance to send some work to my designer acquaintance, which didn't materialize for the Adulting Done Bright labels. That's about it for this week, folks. The next one's going to be in about a month. Thank you for your interest. Thanks for watching. Also, you gritty grown-ups are doing important work out there. Keep it up, and best of luck, because you'll need that too.